Whatever, y'all. Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass, like and subscribe. So, today's the 13th. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Valentine. Saint Valentine flew across the sky and shot out happy love dust to everyone, and everyone fell in love. That's it, right? I don't actually know the not the etymology, but the history of Valentine, Saint Valentine, whatever. Who knows? People do. Who cares? I mean, it's kind of like Halloween. Anything twist it and distort it in order to sell stuff, whatever. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the day after. Now, I watched Doc Dark 1985, and he got the day wrong. He said Friday, and I believe it's Thursday, the 15th. Yeah, I think that's right. I think my math's out. So just wanted to correct him on that. I mean, whatever. I'm pretty sure he knew after the fact, but he was like, whatever. But I always like his laundry room videos. Is pretty tight. I mean, look, I got the Traily Bailey videos. I'm in the ride. You know what I'm saying? So we all got our locations. Don't worry, I'll get back to the green screen stuff when I want to go look at documents and stuff. We'll do that. Definitely. And I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing a podcast again, because I used to do a podcast way back in the day. It's a bit of work. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll ruminate on it. Ruminate? I don't think that's the word I want to use. But whatever, I used it. Anyway, so it's more about like, okay, what's going to happen on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time? That's my time zone. Like, what's going to happen? I'm like, what's going to happen? Now, you still got the people out there that are dooming and glooming, of course. But there's some hopefulness. And then there's this theory like, oh, good news comes out on Monday, bad news comes out on Thursday. I'm like, all right, sure. I mean, bad news comes out on Friday at 5:30 when everybody's gone. That's what I think Sony did that one time. They're like, oh yeah, slip that in a PlayStation blog. It's like, what is this? Anyway, I mean, I was listening to I think it was Dirt Griggity, WBG, and they had Andy Pants on there. I watched the Andy Pants. He's cool, and they were basically saying everybody has their worst case scenario, best case scenario, and I went through that already. And honestly, it doesn't matter what happens, because like ultimately for me, because yes, I lean Xbox, right? I have a couple of PlayStation consoles, a couple of games. I'm not a PlayStation player. I skipped all of that. I went from Dreamcast to Xbox. I skipped PlayStation 1, skipped PlayStation 2, 3. I had a 3, but I gave it away. But now I do have a PlayStation 1 and 2, because I am a sort of a collector, of video games. So there's that. But they were talking about like the pros and cons, like I was saying, what's the best and worst case scenario. And like I said, it doesn't matter, because I'm a gamer first and foremost. Now, I don't play a lot of PlayStation games because honestly, a lot of the games are a little flat as far as like, okay, I mean, they have high production value, yes, but gameplay wise, there's nothing special there. There's far and few between games that are like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you look at Ghost of Tsushima, right? I could play Assassin's Creed. Which one is better? Which one has better gameplay? Let's say that, right? I can look at, The Last of Us is a bad example, because the gameplay in that is like, it's mid, honestly. Like I said, it's all about the production values, the cutscenes, the acting, the stuff that you don't play. I want to have a game that's fun to play. That's why Call of Duty, that's why Modern Warfare is so popular. That's why Fortnite is so popular, even though it's, that game's a little floaty or whatever. But those games are popular based off of, one, the gameplay, and two, the actual, oh, I like Iron Man, so I'm gonna go buy an Iron Man skin, and I can play out. Oh, next month's gonna be Hulk or Batman or something. They're kind of catering to pop culture, which is cool. And so they found their lane, and they're sticking to it, and they're getting it done. And there's only so far that those type of games, as far as what Sony makes, those one and done walking simulator, super polished, highly cinematic games, it's only so far that they can go, because it's just like movies, right? Like, every movie isn't great, every movie isn't spectacular, every movie isn't an Oscar winner. And so if all you're making is movie games, not all of them are going to hit. Hi, Days Gone. Even though that was an open world game, it was a little twist on it. But still, a lot of those games don't hit as big, as strong as, the best one. And even then, like, Spider-Man still is like the top cream of the crop as far as popularity, I would say. But critical acclaim, I guess The Last of Us probably got more. But once again, it depends. Like, every gamer doesn't want to play a depressing ass game. I don't. That's why I tend not to play like zombie games. Not because like zombie games are depressing inherently. I mean, they kind of are if you think about the subtext. But it's, I don't know. I think more on the creative, the wonder side. That's why I like. I think I haven't played it yet, but Hogwarts Legacy is kind of a perfect example of a game universe that's kind of interesting, and there's a lot to explore without it being super depressing and all that stuff. But there are some depressing notes in it, because of the writer, not the game itself, but the actual property. And that's problematic because J.K. Rowling has her stances and stuff, and she got canceled or they tried to cancel her, but I think she's too rich and powerful that at some point you just have too much power and money that you can't get canceled, basically. But she definitely has her non-fans, let's just say that. But games like that, like games like, or like, I'm going back and forth for games and movies. Like a movie like the last Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, or not? Something Thieves having a party, whatever it's called, with Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez and everybody else, and Justice Smith. Who else was in that? Homegirl that's in the Kojima game on Xbox. She was in it too. She was the elf. She was cool. And I mean, the writing was cool. The characters were cool. And, of course, there's certain things that, like, I think the God of War team, Santa Monica, with 2018, they did a pretty good job of resetting it. I don't want to say, it wasn't quite it was just like I don't even want to call it a reimagining. They just moved the camera, basically, and made it more cinematic and took your control away a little bit. I mean, the other games were 1, 2, and 3, and Ascension were similar to that. There's cutscene, there quick time events and stuff. So they just kind of, I don't want to say modernized, but they made it more cinematic. Let's just keep it that way. And once again, that is a constant theme with these games. Now you have Helldivers, right? It's not cinematic per se. The gameplay is pretty good. People are having fun, right? That's cool. The review, I think it was 6 reviews came out so far. 6 reviews, only 6, right? And it's an 83. Like, how come there are only 6 reviews? Now, I will guarantee that score is going to go down, because if you want to do a comparison, like I saw a side-by-side picture. It had Helldivers 2 83 and it had Starfield 83. Starfield's 83 happened like weeks after it premiered at 92. Okay, so let's look at how a game comes out. Starfield had a 92 when it first came out, and then all of the bad negatives and the 4 from frickin' Jim Sterling. So I want to wait. I have to do the calculations. How long has it been since Starfield? Oh, September, October, November, 5 months. So 5 months from now, let's look at the score for Helldivers 2, and then we can say, okay, this is what's up. But there's only 6 reviews. Why is there only 6 reviews? Are there more than 6 reviews? And are the other reviews like bad? So they don't want to have Sony have a bad. I am so past frustrated about the state of media and gaming that, you know, I've heard a lot of people on podcasts, they're like, you know what, I'm not even looking at reviews no more. I don't care about reviews. I'm gonna just look at games. I want to play that, I'm gonna play it. And that's how it should be. That's how it always should be, basically. You say, yo, it's like Fable, right? I'm gonna play Fable. I don't care what the reviews are. I don't care what anybody says. I'm playing Fable. The next Forza Horizon, I'm playing that. Hello, Perfect Dark, I'm playing that just for morbid curiosity. I'm not saying that it's gonna be bad or anything, but I am curious as hell to see what they do with that game. Hopefully it'll be great and dope and stuff, but we'll see. You know, I am definitely curious about that. And you know, many other games like Kojima's game. I was about to say OD. We'll see how that turns out. You know, it's gonna be weird because Kojima makes weird games, and when he has no filter, when he has no editor, it gets a little crazy. So that's all good. It's good to have some crazy stuff in there. But there's plenty of games that I want to play that are coming out on the Xbox side, exclusive and third party and all that stuff. And it's not about like production value per se. I mean, there are games like Hellblade 2, production values top notch. It's like it's better than anything else out there. Like all the other, you know, like God of War is like, that kind of looks like a video game. It looks like a good video game. Graphics are good, but it looks like a video game. But when you have Hellblade 2, that looks like real life. You were like, is that a cut? Is that real film? Or is that, you're questioning yourself. You're like, how did they get so good? How did the graphics, remember back in the day when you were a little kid and you were playing your Genesis and you're like, oh man, I can't wait till the graphics get so good that it looks like real life. It's happening on Xbox, exclusively console-wise. I mean, sure, they've probably been super realistic mods for, let's see, I guess Cyberpunk has a couple of them. Not so much the people, but they're on the streets and the cars and how they did the textures and the lighting. I mean, the ray tracing and stuff. I was like, yo, I was impressed. I was like, yo, that looks real right there. And then it started moving like a video game. I was like, okay, it's a video game. But when it's like kind of like moving like a regular camera or something, I was like, yo. So it's there. I mean, as far as consoles, not so much, you know. And so there's more to it than that. Yes, it's good to have a couple of those titles, a couple of super high production movie like games, but you can't have your whole roster be a bunch of 3-point experts and nothing else, because you're not shooting 3-pointers all the time. Okay, that's bad. I'm gonna stop doing sports analogies because I don't even watch sports. So, but you get the drift, right? Yeah. How about let's have a bunch of watercolor painters? It's like, but how you gonna? What about oil? Well, I guess we're gonna suck at oil. See? Let's just do drill hip hop music. Like, what about country and classical? How you gonna do? I guess you ain't gonna do that. That's what Sony's doing. They're only doing one thing. They can't even get an internal team to make a game like Helldivers. They gotta pay somebody out there in the wilds, third party, like, yo, we're gonna give some money to make the sequel ours, please. They're like, okay. It's like, because, like, think of it, right? If you're an indie dev team, right? And you're making Helldivers 2 anyway, right? And you're like, yo, we need some money. We put it on Steam and maybe PlayStation. We'll do a PlayStation version, but you know, and then PlayStation comes to you and be like, yo, we're gonna give you $50 million. We're going to give you $10 million. Well, I don't know how much they give them. This is whatever. We're going to give you a whole bunch of money to keep exclusive for PlayStation. They're like, so we don't have to do an extra version that costs us more money? Okay, it's an easy yes. It's an easy yes. Especially if they were already working on that game anyway for PlayStation. So, you know, there's if you think about it, yeah. You're like, oh, why not, you know? But fans, like dev dev teams that are fans of Xbox and they're like, oh, we're gonna make it for Xbox, or if Xbox gets in there early enough to make the deal, it's all the same. It's all money. They're giving these dev teams extra money to just concentrate on to actually make their job easier. They're basically, Microsoft and Sony are like, yo, we're gonna make your job easier. Here's a bunch of money, and you ain't gotta do the extra work to do an extra port for another. And they're like, this money covers the loss in sales if we ever, and you know what I'm saying? So business wise, that's why these deals happen. And Sony makes more deals like that than Xbox. I think Xbox should. I mean, they have, like, Power World was a big get. You know, they did Power World, and it's like, psh. And I swear I see these donkey unicorns and these ponies up there trying to pump up Helldivers 2. And they're like, yeah, 64,000, 50,000 concurrent playing. Oh, they got the most concurrent players of any PlayStation game. It's like 100 and some thousand, right? And I'm like, you know, Power World is like, it was 2 million at one point. It's like 1 million something. Or it's like 100,000. It's like 10 times as many people are playing Power World than they are Helldivers 2. And you know what they did? They tried to compare it to Starfield. I'm like, what the hell is... They're trying. They're trying their bestest to try to make Sony look good, but it's not working because people are not as dumb as they think they are. They're looking at this, it's like, yeah, Power World is destroying y'all. Y'all can't even compete with Power World. Y'all bought the wrong exclusive, Sony. You should have bought Power World. Because it didn't matter if it was exclusive on PlayStation or Xbox as far as consoles. That game was still going to do what it did. Because it's Power World. And, you know, they got Helldivers. And I'm looking at Helldivers and I'm like, okay, I could see the fun in it, right? I'm not saying it's bad. But at the same time, it's like, okay, bugs, bigger bugs. There's some kind of emergent things that happen with the physics, and like you blow up a giant bug and a leg falls on you and you die and stuff. The leg crushes you, and so I'm like, okay, well, I see that. I can see how that might be a cool thing, but you know, it's so weird how these donkey unicorns and these ponies are trying to manipulate the message, manipulate the perspective, the perception, of, I guess, casuals or gamers or just their fan base or whatever, you know. And I'm like, you know, I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, of course. But it's just like so much effort into trying to and do a smear campaign on Xbox. It's like they have a lot of energy. I don't have that. I don't do that because I'm just tired. I can't do that. I'll retweet a couple of things here and there. I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But I'm not dedicating all that time for that. That's crazy. And you know, looking at Thursday coming up, as far as what I expect, I mean, I don't have expectations, because if you have zero expectations, you have zero disappointment when stuff happens, right? And I'm not of the mindset of, oh, Xbox is traitor if you put this and that on you know, another console or whatever. And like I said, if they get in bed with Nintendo all day long, put every game they want on Nintendo, I'll be fine with that. And they give Sony the middle finger, I'd be super duper fine with that. And I bet you Matt Booty was like, rrr. Matt Booty was sitting there like, sloppy, and Phil was like, come on, Matt. Stay back, come on. Matt just wants to just kill him, because that's what Sony's been trying to do this whole generation. And he's right. You know, Sony's not playing, I don't want to say fair. They're playing their own game. They're playing whatever game that they think they need to play in order to survive or to win or to be number one or whatever, right? And, you know, the whole thing is like you woke a sleeping giant, or you poke the bear. Money is very powerful. And the money that Microsoft has, they can, without a shadow of a doubt, destroy PlayStation if they wanted to. If they employed the same tactics that Sony and PlayStation have employed throughout the decades, they could definitely destroy them to a point where they would just be a small little niche Japanese video game maker. You know, they could do that. They could buy all the third-party games, so Sony has nothing. Well, I mean, they could buy as much as they can, but you know, there are some nationalists, Japanese. Does that make sense? Japanese nationalists. There are some out there that will be like, no, we're gonna stick by Sony. You know, whether it's Square Enix or but they're changing their tune too because they realize the market. Sony's not making that money. Sony cannot make all the money for them. Even Sony realizes, oh, day and date. I got a song. It's called Conning Souls. It's on YouTube. Go to my channel, check it out. I literally say there, in the song, there's a line that says something about day and date on PC. It's towards the end of the song. And it's happening. It happened. Helldivers 2 is the first one. Now, it is a third party, but they published it, so it's like, it's in the gray area. Now, when like a God of War or something like, or Uncharted does day and date, then it's over. You know it's super, I mean, it's over now, but you know it's over. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But I appreciate y'all hanging out, might not like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think is going to pop off on Thursday. I'm not too worried about it. I am interested in the hardware aspect because I'm super interested. If Xbox puts out a portable Xbox, a la the Rogue Ally or whatever, Steam Deck, you know, that type of thing, but it plays natively like the Rogue Ally, I'm buying that. And I'll buy the big console. Like that's the rumor that it's going to be a small handheld and a big console. And so I'm like, let's go. You know, I'll definitely get that. That'd be cool. Maybe I get a PS5 down the road when it's like, you know, in the flea market for $20. I go to a swap shop, get a $20 PlayStation 5. That's how I got all my PlayStations. I paid $20 for them all. I mean, it's more now because of inflation and stuff, so they're like $40, $50 or whatever. But maybe I'll get a PlayStation 4. I don't have a PlayStation 4. I never had a PlayStation 4. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, rambles. But I appreciate y'all. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate all y'all comments out there. I've been reading them all. I had an issue with my my phone app, and it wasn't giving me all of them. So I just recently went through and tried and liked all of them. Gave y'all a thumbs up because that's what I said I do, and I do. I read them all. I read them. Even the super long novels, which I appreciate, because that's a lot of, you know, time you sit down there and you know, whether you dictate it or you type it out. You're a good typer. Hey, it's all good. I appreciate you taking the time to mess with my dumb ass. But anyway, I appreciate y'all, and most definitely, I'll talk to you on the next one. Wait.